Hi guys, welcome back. We're reading an article today that I am very excited about. I'll start when we're all ready. Jocelyn, hi, welcome back to class.
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing very well. What time is it for you?
8 p.m.
Oh, perfect time for English. And how's the weather there?
At the moment, the weather is beautiful, but before it was raining. It was raining.
Ah, okay. Is it cold?
No, no, no. The weather is 18 degrees.
Okay, so not cold, but not too hot.
Yes.
All right, we have some new students. We have Javier, right?
Yes, hi. Hi, teacher.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And what time is it for you?
For me, it's 1 p.m.
Oh, good. That's a good time.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back, Action.
I'm Shalike.
Hi. All right. I'll introduce myself quickly. We'll do a couple more introductions, and then we'll get into reading. We're reading an article today. I'm very excited about it. So my name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been a teacher for a few years, and I love it. I've been with Verbling just a few months, but I love meeting all these new people. So now I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself. Tell me your name, where you're from, and one thing you love about the city you live in. So Patricia, will you go first? Patricia, we can't hear you. You might have to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Patricia. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Can you repeat me the question, please?
Yeah, we're introducing ourselves. So tell me your name, where you're from, and one thing you love about the city you live in.
Okay, I'm from Spain. I'm living in La Garriga, which is a little town near to Barcelona. And what I enjoy the most is that it's a little town where you can go shopping around on foot, and it's a lively town with a lot of people in the streets, kids playing and everything.
Very cool. All right. Jocelyn, will you introduce yourself now?
Yes, my name is Jocelyne. I live in France, precisely in Normandy, near the beaches. I love the village where I live because there is the sea. the field is very calm.
Beautiful. Thank you. Javier, your turn.
Hi everybody, my name is Javier. I am from Ecuador. I live in Quito. Quito is the capital of Ecuador, the Ecuador's capital. I live here my whole life, all of my life, and I like my country. It's very beautiful, and the people is friendly. Uh-huh. I don't have any words because I like my country.
All right. Well, thank you. Action, your turn.
My name is Action. I'm from Azerbaijan. I live in the capital city. Also, I work as a financial here.
I'm sorry, what?
Financial. I work in the central
Okay.
bank.
Okay. And what's one thing you love about the city you live in?
It has a sea. It's in the seaside.
Beautiful. Amazing. I wish I lived near the sea. Vincenzo, will you introduce yourself and tell us one thing you love about the city you live in? We can't hear you, Vincenzo. Your microphone is on mute, probably. There's a button in the top right corner of the screen, and it's there.
Yes,
we go.
yes.
Excellent.
Yes, I know. Yes, my name is Vincenzo. I am from Rome, and what can I say? I'm enjoying to verbally in order to improve my English, and so this evening I tried to join to this lesson. That's I think it's very interesting about food, So I'm interested in this lesson.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. So before we begin reading the article, I want to ask you guys to tell me what you know about wasting food and food waste. Tell me anything you want, like what kinds of food people waste, or what countries waste the most food, or your personal habits, like if you waste food or not. I'm going to start on the left with Action. What do you know about food waste, or what's your personal habit?
I don't know many things about the food waste, and I'm trying not to waste food.
What?
I'm just trying not to waste food.
Oh, okay.
Very
So
much.
you try personally not to waste food.
Yeah.
Are you successful?
I pay attention for it. I think I'm successful.
Good. It's important. Okay, Javier.
Yes.
What do you know about food waste? Do you waste food at your house?
No, in my house I think that we don't have waste food because we eat all. But I think that waste food is when the people throw, I don't know, when the people throw the food because they don't want or they have a lot. I think that, but I think that that is in all the countries that are in the top. I think that.
So you don't think that there's food waste in your country?
I don't know. I don't know if in my country there are waste food, but I think that probably could be.
Okay. Jocelyn? Do you?
I don't no I don't waste food because there is a lot of children suffers suffers famine.
When people are hungry?
Oui, yes.
Yeah, a
Famine.
famine. And it's the same in English. Yeah, famine is the same in English.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Patricia, what do you
Yes.
know about food waste? Do you waste food?
Well, I try not to waste food, and as much as I can, I think I'm successful about that. Which I try to do is just buy the things that I plan to eat during the week. Um, that's all. I don't know anything else about wasting food.
Mm-hmm.
That's my habits.
Okay. Vincenzo, how about you? Do you waste food?
I tried not to waste food. So because also I'm going on a diet in order to lose weight, you know. So I'm trying to eat just the food that is necessary for me and for my daughter. And what I know about food is that I read about an article. I don't remember where. It was very interesting because it said that in the Western world, every citizen wastes an amount of food equal to 2,000 calories, enough to feed a person. So this fact, in order to creating pollution, wastes resources like land, like water, something else, so no? Oil, and the energy is used to create this food. The problem is that about nutrition, it's said that in the world we are proper diametrically opposed. From one side we have, I don't remember exactly, but it seems 2 billion people that are, how do you say, they are suffering from malnutrition. And another, on the other side, we have perhaps also 9,000 people that are starving. How do you say starving? Yes,
You
starving.
can say starving or a famine.
Yes, starving. And on the other side, we have people that are obese, that are abusing of food. One 1 billion, let me see, I don't remember, 400,000 that are obese, that are overweight. Only this, yes, I remember only this about food. That's a problem because we have from one side people that are suffering from food, for lack, scarcity, how do you say, lack of food, and on the other side we have a lot of people that are abusing, that are throwing out food.
Yeah,
Like we are,
it seems
yes,
uneven, imbalanced.
yes, that's the problem. So
Definitely.
in my case, I think that because I don't eat too much, I'm going to eat too much. I tried not to waste food, like, because I must go down with my weight. Okay.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, does everyone see the article we're reading today? It was attached to the class. But in case you didn't open it, I'm going to link it to the chat boxes. So I'm going to put it in the chat boxes, and you can just open it and let it load for a second. There it is. everyone see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So when you waste food, you're wasting tons of water too. This is something we talked a little bit about, because when you waste food, it wastes more than just the food. You're also wasting all of the work that was put into the food. There's a picture, and it says, a worker dumps a bucket of tomatoes into a trailer in Florida City, Florida. Much of the lost and wasted weight in fruit and vegetables is water, according to a report by the World Resource Institute. So those tomatoes don't even look like tomatoes, do they? They're green. I thought they were apples. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
I thought they were
Yeah.
apples, but they're actually tomatoes.
Okay.
Not good looking tomatoes. All right. So first paragraph, I'm going to ask you guys to read it. And as we go through it, I'll ask if you have any vocabulary questions. Vincenzo, would you like to read the first two paragraphs?
Yes. Let's allora, dove è questo? Excuse me, because my connection is very slow, you know. It's very slow. Wait a moment. From tossing.
Yeah.
Okay. Tossing out food is clearly a waste of money and maybe even immoral, according to Pope Francis, who on Wednesday likened food waste to stealing from the table of those who are poor and hungry. And as we have reported, you also may be creating extra greenhouse gas emission by sending food to a landfill. Now comes yet another reason not to waste food. It also wastes a heck of a lot of water, a new report says.
Okay. So there are a couple vocabulary words I want to go over. Heck, does anyone know what heck means? When they say it also wastes a heck of a lot of water?
No, I don't know heck.
Heck is, it's like a word for emphasis, and it usually replaces a bad word. So instead of saying a curse word or a bad word, you can say heck, because it is not a bad meaning word, but it emphasizes something. So instead of just saying a lot of water, they say a heck of a lot of water, which just emphasizes a lot.
Is it the same?
Yes.
Okay. The same of lot. Okay.
All right. Any other vocabulary questions before we move on to the next paragraphs?
Excuse me, what is the meaning of landfill?
Landfill.
The meaning of landfill? A landfill is when they literally fill the land with trash and with waste. So it's where you put all the trash and all the undesirable things. You put it in a landfill, and then you cover it with a thin layer of dirt.
Okay. So, we call them a discharge, something like that. Discharge? No, is it? Does it exist? Discharge? No.
Discharge?
Yeah, something in order to a hole where you put trash.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, a hole where you put trash.
Yes.
It's like a dump.
Something like that. A dump. Yes.
All right. Next two paragraphs, I'm going to ask Patricia.
Okay. According to the World Resources Institute, an environmental think tank inside the...
Sorry.
What?
Nothing. Go.
Inside the 1.3 billion tons of food wasted every year worldwide is 45 trillion gallons of water. This represents a staggering 24% of all water used for agriculture.
Gotcha.
And agriculture is already the world's biggest user of fresh water. The sector accounts for 70% of all use around the world, according to the World Water Assessment Program. Those freshwater resources are diminishing fast. Just as demand for them rises from millions of hungry and thirsty people joining the global population.
Okay, questions about those two paragraphs before we go on to the next two?
Tank. I don't know what it means.
Tank is a receptacle, so it's where you put water, because of course water is fluid and you can't just put it on the ground, you would lose it. So they put it in a big receptacle and it's called a tank. So a tank
Okay.
is something that holds liquid. It's a big thing that holds liquid. For
Okay.
instance, a fish tank is where you keep fish if they're at your house. You keep them in a big square of water called a fish tank. Any other questions?
Yes,
Would-
4 trillion gallons of water.
Tons of water. What's the question?
Trillion ou trillion?
Are you saying billion? 1.3 billion tons of... No.
3 trillion.
Trillion? I don't see trillion. Oh, 45 trillion gallons of water.
Yes.
So trillion is a little bigger than billion. We've got million, and above is billion, and above is trillion.
Okay.
And what about gallons? How much is a gallon? Do you guys know?
Yes.
How
It's a
much?
measure. It's a measure for liquids.
And how many liters are in a gallon?
Oh dear, I don't remember. Perhaps 2 liters. No, I don't know.
I think more than that, actually. I think it's a little more than 3 liters in a gallon. Gallons are very large.
Okay. Yes. What about staggering? Staggering.
Staggering. Does anyone know that word already? Stagger?
No, I don't.
Stagger is something that's very surprising. So literally when you stagger, it means like you jolt. Hold on, I'll put myself on the screen so you guys can see. When you stagger, you kind of stop, you almost fall. So they're saying it's surprising. It's so surprising that it kind of shocks you, like that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thrilling.
Thrilling?
Amazing. No.
Amazing.
No. What's a similar word for the staggering?
Oh, similar, like a synonym to staggering would be shocking or surprising.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can we continue on to the next two? All right. Jocelyn, will you read the next 2 paragraphs?
Yes. And agriculture is already the world's biggest user of fresh water. The sector accounts for 70% of all use around the world, according to the World Water Assessment Programme. Those freshwater resources are diminishing fast, just as the demand for them rises from millions of hungry and thirsty people joining the global population. However, when it comes to water, not all food products are created equal. As the WRI notes in its new working paper on food waste, a pound of wheat flour on average contains 12% water and 1,639 calories, whereas a pound of apples on average contains 81% water and 766 calories. Fruits and vegetables are the largest source of loss and waste on a watch basis, in part because they contain more water than other foods.
All right. So vocabulary questions from that section?
Yes, I have
Mm-hmm.
wheat flour in the first paragraph that she reads.
What was the word? What's the word?
Wheat flour. A pound of wheat flour on average contains 12% of water.
Oh, wheat flour.
Wheat flour.
Wheat flour.
Wheat flour? Does anyone know what wheat flour is already?
Wheat grain is bread.
It's a component for baking, and it's a very fine powder, and you use it to make bread, to make cake, to make tortillas, to make anything that's a bread product or you bake uses flour. And wheat flour is just an unrefined version of white flour. So white flour is the more common, or at least it's the more common here. And it's white, and it's just like this fine, fine powder. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think it's for making the bread or something.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Perfect. Exactly.
Excuse me. Wheat is the plant, no? The plant, that makes flour.
Yeah, wheat is the actual flour. When you see wheat, it's like a type of grass, kind of. It's a long, thin stem with little pokey things at the top.
Yes. Okay.
Other questions? Vocabulary questions?
What is WRI nuts? As WRI nuts.
Oh, that is the Water Resource Institute or something.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? So what have we talked about so far? Let's try to summarize what we've been reading about. What did we learn in this article so far about wasting food? Javier, what's one thing you learned in this article about wasting food?
I learned that when we waste food, we waste water too.
Definitely.
What
else?
Because, for example, the water is used for the develop of the food. For example, in fruit, in some other food.
And this question is for everybody. What's the difference between wasting a cake and wasting a banana?
The problem with the banana is that because it's an agricultural product, we waste more water if we waste a banana, throw up our banana, than if we waste something else.
Exactly. Things, produce like bananas, fruits, vegetables, and even meat, they use a lot of water, whereas flour doesn't use so much water. So a cake doesn't contain very much water, but broccoli does. Okay, yes, Javier, would you like to read the next two paragraphs?
Okay. Meat, of course, requires more water in its production than any other food, because animals devour so much feed that in turn has to be ground with water. Meat production requires between 8 and 10 times more water than grain production, according to the WWAP. Unfortunately, we're better about eating the meat we produce. It represents only 4% of the total food wasted by weight, and 7% of the calories wasted, according to WRI. If you like to know how your favorite food stack up in terms of how much water they require, this chart from the Water Footprint Network is pretty handy.
Pretty.
All right. Vocabulary questions from that section? Nothing?
No, último, excuse me. It was because devo, divorare, no, divorce, ma
Devour.
devour, yeah, devour.
Devour is a synonym to eat.
Eat,
so
yeah.
if
yes, okay,
if it or to consume.
Yes. Consume,
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, in the second paragraph, stack up.
Yeah, stack up. Yeah.
Yes.
Stuck up.
Stack up.
Oh, stack up. Stack up is to compare. So if one thing stacks up against another, you're comparing one to the other. So right there, I think they were comparing meat and vegetables, right?
So it is compare with water.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that the chart, they're comparing different foods in terms of how much water they take. They're comparing them.
Okay.
So it's like measuring them differently. Okay, can we continue to the next two? Actually, I'm going to have Vincenzo, will you read the next three? Because one of them is very short.
Okay. As far as the water in wasted food, we wondered where it goes. It depends on where people dispose of the lost or wasted food, says Craig Hansen, director of WRIS People and Ecosystem Program and co-author of the report in an email to the salt. For instance, he says, the moisture in food lost immediately post-harvest or during open storage will likely evaporate.
Okay, thank you. And just so you know, the salt, in the second paragraph, they said, in a report from the salt is a blog about food, food items. So it's just, it's called the salt.
It's confused with salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I didn't understand. Okay.
Any other questions from those paragraphs? They were short.
Yes. Post-harvest. The moisture in food lost immediately post-harvest.
Post-harvest. Harvest is when farmers collect and gather all the food from the field. So they collect it, and that's the harvest. If it's lost post-harvest, it means that right after the harvest, it goes bad or is thrown away or spoils. So after the harvest, if it is bad and they throw it away, then it's post-harvest.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Excellent, guys. Next two paragraphs, Patricia.
Okay. Shall I start with As Brian Lipinski?
No, I think you're starting with, in other words, the water ends up.
As food that goes, that one?
In other words, that water ends up back in the atmosphere.
Okay. In other words, that water ends up back in the atmosphere. But that doesn't mean it'll return to the place from whence it came. Now that food is crisscrossing the globe. The water-stressed regions that produce fruits and vegetables aren't necessarily going to get their water back. As As for food that goes to a dam, the water could be locked in, so it's not available. If the dam is closed, Hansen says, or it could evaporate over time if the dam is open.
Excellent. Next two paragraphs go to Jocelyn.
As Brian Lipinski, the lead author of the World Resources Institute report, nuts in arid North Africa and west and Central Asia, more than half of the fruits and vegetables in the food supply end up being lost or wasted. It works out to about 63 pounds of products per capita in these regions, he writes. In the developing world, farmers struggle with the food loss long before it gets to the consumer. But creators access to simple equipment like silos for airtight food storage and crates for delicate fruits and vegetables would help a lot, WRI says.
Thank you. And the last paragraph is for Javier.
Okay. In rich countries, by contrast, much food waste happens farther along the food distribution chain. In homes and restaurants, for example, we need to do a better job of redistributing food we can't eat and serving and ordering smaller portions, according to the report.
Okay. So before we talk about the article, is there any last vocabulary questions you guys had about the words or the grammar used?
Crisscrossing.
What word?
What about crisscrossing?
Oh, crisscrossing. Does anybody know that already, that term? Crisscrossing?
Where?
Crisscrossing is when things kind of overlap, like, I don't know if I'm on the thing. Here. Like this. So when things go in lines across each other, it's a crisscross. Does that make sense?
No,
Do you want me to find a picture of it so I can post it on the chat box?
I don't hear you. Okay. Don't hear you.
Okay. Now?
Yes.
My internet, I don't know if it was my internet or the site, but I was having trouble a second. Any other vocabulary questions?
Yes, I have a question. What is the meaning of silos?
A silo is where they store food. So once farmers harvest the food, they take all of their product and they put it in these huge buildings called silos, and they put all of it there to keep it away from the air, so it doesn't rot, it doesn't go bad, it doesn't spoil. It stays good for a longer time when they keep it in a silo.
They are the biggest cylinders.
Vincent or Vincenzo, sorry.
Are they big cylinders?
Oh yes, exactly. They're very large cylinder-looking buildings.
Cylinders, yes, building, yes. Cylinder.
And any other questions?
Yes, It works out to about 63 pounds of produce per capita.
So
Capita.
per capita, per capita means per person. So
Okay.
it's a phrase that's used always together, but per capita is per person.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I would like us to kind of summarize the article again. And I'm going to ask everyone to give me one fact or something that happened in the article, basically summarize the article. So tell me one thing you read in the article. I'm going to start on the right with Vincenzo. What's one thing we talked about in the article?
We are talking about the waste of food, about the waste of water, about the fact that this movement of water through the atmosphere, I don't know, and the contrast between rich people and poor people. So they think that we have to have a small portion of food when we are in a restaurant. So in order not to throw out food, and something like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Patricia, what's something else that we learned in the article?
Yes, when
Me?
Oh, whoever wants to go. Did you have something to say, Jocelyn?
yes, when we waste food, we waste a lot of water.
Yeah,
A lot.
definitely.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, definitely. That's what the article's all about. Patricia, what's one more thing?
Yes, I think the article points the fact that humans are wasting more water than we think. And this happens not only because a direct waste of water, but also when we throw out food, we are wasting a lot of water, and not always the atmosphere come back this water.
Yeah, so we use up all this water and sometimes it returns and sometimes it doesn't. So
Yeah.
it's semi-permanent.
Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I think that this could be the punishment for the rich people. No, excuse me. The punishment for the rich people because they get obese, they throw out the food and also water and other resources. And perhaps yes, it could be a punishment.
A punishment.
For them. Yeah, punishment in a certain way,
Well, it's a certain kind of punishment, but not just for the bad people, also for everyone.
Yes, for everyone, but perhaps I think it's more in rich people because they create this state of the atmosphere and so on. So they get obese. But something like that for others.
Yeah. All right, Javier. Did you have anything from the...
also pollution. Also pollution. Yes.
Pollution too. True.
Pollution too. Yeah. Okay.
And what about you, Javier?
About me, I think that the principal topic is the waste of water because it is a reference with the food. Because there are, how I told us, I told you, the water, the fruits need or the food needs water for growing up. In some countries, for example, there is a waste of food, and it generates a waste of water too. And I think that is for a bad distribution of food in the principal countries.
Yeah.
Because that food can be or could be for another countries that need food because the food is water. I think in this text, in this some text.
But it is also land. It's also energy, gasoline, and strength of human people in order to get this food. You know. There are a lot of energies, human and natural energies, that are lost.
Yeah. We have a couple new students. Is it Javed? Javed? How do you say your name? Javed Shaikh?
Yeah, Javi Sheikh, yeah. Yes, Javi Sheikh.
Okay. Will you introduce yourself for us and tell us what you know about wasting food?
Yeah, actually, myself, Javi Sheikh. I'm from India. Okay. And a lot of wasting food in restaurant, at home, and in marriage invitation, marriage party. Okay. And in hostel life, in lot of places, lot of food wastages. But nowadays we didn't improve because we don't know how to this type of how I can say this type of
This practice? This practice of wasting food? Is that what you're talking about? Are you still there, Javed?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree.
I am lot of speaking. Na?
Okay. Eunice?
Yes.
Am I saying your name right?
Cebeci.
Yes.
Will you say it again?
Cebeci. Cebeci.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was reading
Cebeci.
the first name there. Okay. Debesi? I can't say your name. I'm going to call you YC. How about that?
I couldn't understand.
Okay. All right. Will you introduce yourself for us and tell us what you know about wasting food?
Yes, in today's time, wasting food is rising, unfortunately. And in my country, this is also bad problem.
Where do you live?
I live in Istanbul, but I live in Antalya now.
You live
Antalya.
where? Ontario?
What? Antalya, in Turkey.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm not great with geography. Okay, there it is. Antalya. I see. Thank you,
Yes.
Jocelyn. She's better at geography than me for sure. All right. Excellent. So now I'm going to give you guys another website. I'm going to put it in the chat box. And I'd like you guys to look at it. It gives us some information about all the food that we use.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yeah.
We have also to consider the expenses for the treatment of the diseases associated with obesity.
True. So there's medical costs to both being obese and also being malnourished. There's medical costs.
Diabetes, pressure, I don't remember, diabetes, and other things connected with obesity.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So does
Only
everyone
this.
have the chart open? This is the chart that the article talked about when they said to see how they, I think they said stack up, how they stack up, right?
Yes.
And it gives measurements for all of the sugars or all of the foods and stuff we consume. So, for instance, there are vegetables, and for 322 kilograms or grams, I don't know, it converts it to liters of water and grams of protein and grams of fat. So you kind of know how all of them compare. You can see that oil crops, they have a much higher calorie rate than vegetables and a little more protein. And it's just interesting. It compares all of the foods we eat and how much resources they use up. And that was the chart that was talked about in the article.
Excuse me, did you put a link in the in the verbal chat, teacher?
Well, now it's slightly up higher. You just have to scroll up to see it because it's. I put it in and then people made comments afterwards. I'll put it in again though. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, the project increases in the production and consumption of animal products is likely to put further pressure on the globe's freshwater resources. The size and characteristics of the water footprint may vary across animal types and production systems. So, a water footprint, what they're saying is that the amount of water we use is our water footprint. Has anyone ever heard of a carbon footprint?
Yes.
What is a carbon footprint?
I think it's the footprint that they are in the ground and maybe was made by an ancient human.
Maybe. Well, I think what you're talking about is like a fossil, right?
Yes, something like that.
This is a slightly different meaning. So a carbon footprint and a water footprint is like a measurement of how much carbon and water you use. So you might have a large carbon footprint if you use a lot of electricity, or if you drive a car, if you use a lot of water, and your water footprint is obviously directly related to water. So it's just a measurement of how much resource you use.
Yeah.
I just thought it was an interesting resource to give you guys. I have one more activity I'd like to do before we end class, and it's a fun one. I hope you guys will enjoy it. I have Hangman for us. So, I'm going to do, it's a synonym. The word I picked is a synonym to small, the word small. So first I would like you guys to brainstorm synonyms to the word small. What is a synonym?
What is it?
Tiny.
Tiny. What else?
Yes.
What is it?
What, the game?
The words. What is the word?
We're looking for a synonym to the word small. So I can't tell you, a synonym to the word small. Tiny, we said tiny, what else?
Short.
Little.
Short.
Little.
What else? Anything else? Can you guys think of more?
No.
All right, then we'll begin. I'm going to ask everyone to give me a letter. Starting with YC. My friend YC. Guess a letter. Any letter in the English alphabet.
B. B.
B is
B.
in what? What? What letter?
I said B. B. B.
Okay, there's no B. So I'm going to give you a little head. And YC, will you guess the next letter? YC?
Bilmiyorum dayı.
Are you there?
Yes.
Onu kendim
All right. How about Patricia? Will you guess the next letter?
Yes. L from
L.
middle.
No L. Uh-oh. Not a great start. How about Jocelyn?
I.
Guess the letter. I. No I. But it's good to start with vowels. Javier? Guess a letter.
Could be a vowel.
Could be a vowel. What vowel?
A.
A. There is an A. There's one A.
Excuse me.
Number 3.
An I.
We already guessed I. It's up here.
Wait a moment.
So, YC, can you guess a letter?
I can see your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't see your screen. Can't.
YC, can you guess a letter?
We need one more letter.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But M?
Perfect. That's a great letter. Yes, there is an M. It's the beginning. So we have M blank A blank blank blank. And Vincenzo, it's your turn.
R.
Good guess. We have an R as well. It's the last letter.
M to blank A or not?
Yeah, it's M blank A blank
Minor?
R. Nope, not minor. So Vincenzo, guess a letter.
S.
Nope, no S.
I.
What did you guess, Patricia?
No, it was Jocelyn.
Oh,
I. I.
E. Good one. Yeah, there's 2 E's.
2 E.
2 E's.
It's
So
good.
now we've got M E A blank E R.
Can you write excuse me, teacher, can you write in the verb in chat?
I will.
Right
I
now?
will.
Actually.
Okay, I'll write it in the chat.
L.
Where the word is, where the word is in this moment. With the spaces included.
It's like this.
L.
Yeah.
Oh. Ne? Is it a G after D?
Uh-huh. No, I'm sorry. It's an A. It's
An A.
M-E-A blank
A.
E-R. So someone guess a letter. We're running out of time.
P.
What?
A P.
Nope, not a P.
Me.
D.
Nope.
Meter.
Not
Nope.
a D. Nope. Do you want me to give you the answer?
No, I have no idea. Yes. Can you give us
Okay.
the answer?
The word is meager. It's a
Oh, dear.
synonym. It's a synonym for small. All right,
Okay.
guys. I'm starting another class right now, so I'm going to have to end class quickly. But thank you so much for participating, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.
Thank you,
Okay.
Joy.
You,
Bye.
bye.
Goodbye.